Welcome back to Freeman's Garage. It's another day working on the 1956 Tri-5 Chevy. We're going to repack the original ball bearings. We're going to do seals. We're going to complete the brake assembly up at the front of the car and tie up some loose ends with the front suspension work slash rebuild slash restoration that we did in a previous video. Oh, that's right, and we're also going to install brand new wheel studs, and we get to dig around in these boxes full of parts. Alright, these are bushings for the rear of the car. It's for a different video, not today. Here's our brand new shocks we're going to put on the front today. We will unbox these. Oh, I almost knocked this box down on top of my head. We will unbox these and check them out when we get to that part. Oh, that box. I think that box is empty. I must have been saving it for a poor man's creeper. One of these boxes should have the wheel studs for the rear of the car, and the other should have the wheel studs for the front of the car. And we want the ones for the front today, since we're working on the front. And I will know which is which by looking at the part number. Oh, I love these. Oh, makes me feel like a kid again. Ears are ringing. You know what, we need some more light in here. Do you want some more light in here? Ah, that's better. Nature's gift, light. I love this shade of orange. Where I come from, they call that Omaha orange. One of my many automotive goals in this world is to one day have some old highway department vehicles that are Omaha orange. Seems like a lot of highway department vehicles around the country some still are Omaha orange. And these look fan-damn-tastic. I think that's about it for brand new parts out of the box. I really can't wait though to pull the shocks out of the box for the first time and slide them into position. They're gonna look really good. But like Sergeant Cotrera always says, I'm not running a social club here, guys. So let's get to work. We're doing the driver's side first, so let's start by stripping the hub of its old parts and getting it cleaned up. I'll show you what we're working with here before we start pressing things out of it. This is the driver front brake drum that was on the car when we bought it out of North Dakota, and I don't know if it's the original 1956 drum that came on the car from the factory, but you can tell it is original pieces, an original drum and hub, because they're still riveted together like how the factory did it. Nobody's hacked these rivets off or grinded them off. Our dampener spring to reduce harmonic vibrations in the drum is here. That's a factory piece. And on the back side, we can see it's, well, you'd have to feel it, but this drum is definitely in specs. We could turn it on a brake drum lathe and make our contact surface completely shiny and smooth, but I'm not too concerned about that. There's no grooves worn in it, so if we don't resurface the drum on a lathe, it's not going to ruin our brand new brake shoes. And also it's plenty thick. There's plenty material here to handle the heat from extreme braking situations. You know, when you're doing a $120 in your giant land yacht down a wavy county road and you all of a sudden realize that you need to unexpectedly stop very quickly. Well, we got plenty of material here to handle that. We're going to remove the old seal and replace it with a new one. And we're going to take the original style roller bearings out and we're going to clean them up and repack them and put it all back in. Yeah! And the reason why we're over here at the press, pressing these wheel studs out and replacing them is because there are some broken and missing wheel studs on the car. So we're just going to go ahead and replace all of them. I've got some wheel stud horror stories that I could tell you, so I like to just replace them. I'm hoping these wheel studs play nice. There we go, I can see this one moving already. Kind of stopped now. Hold on, I don't like that. Come on, you're just a wheel stud. Come on. You've got to be kidding me. Seriously? I don't like what was just happening to this drum. It looked like it was gonna bend and snap in half, so we've moved to the floor. Yeah, we're going back to the press. Let's try this again. Probably should have started soaking these last night, but you know. This is one of those things that could take you 5 minutes or 5 days. Yeah, I don't like this. Is it just me or is that bending the drum? I don't like that. It looks like the stud moved a little bit, I think, but the drum, man. I don't know why I even tried on the floor at all. That was pretty pointless. If these wheel studs don't start playing ball here, I'm gonna clean their clock. Right now I just want them out and I don't particularly care how. Like that. Well, this project's going nowhere real fast, huh? Okay, whole new approach here. If this works, I'll tell you exactly what I did. If it doesn't work, then yeah, it's just gonna be my secret. Oh my gosh, this thing does not want to come out. Jeez Louise, man. The fact that that's not coming out is insane. What in the world? Okay, I got a lot more heat in it now. Oh, come on. I don't like the brake drum bending like that. Alright, it's the next day. I know, same shirt. I let everything soak overnight with some penetrating oil on it. I haven't given up on the driver's side, but we're gonna swap over to the passenger side and see what happens this morning. The factory rivets have been punched out from the passenger side drum and hub combo. So if we do end up doing the same to these factory rivets here for the driver's side hub and drum, I won't feel as bad about deleting something from the factory as I normally would. Whoops. Safety second. It looks like this side's probably just going to want to separate the hub from the drum because those rivets aren't in there, so if that's what it wants to do here. It kind of looks like that's what it's telling me. Oh, that's wonderful. Alright, two things. The first thing is I can't take it anymore. We need more space to work than this. I'm gonna move some of this stuff around a little bit. Like I always say, don't let anyone tell you that you need to get rid of anything. You just need more space. You just need a $60,000 building, that's all. If you can even get a $60,000 building these days. Probably more like $120,000. The second thing is, we're not going to let these wheel studs prove us out to be some rum-dum. The tactic now, for the driver's side and the passenger side, is we're going to separate the drum from the hub. That way when they're separated, we've got all the room in the world to work on getting those wheel studs out. The drums won't be in our way. That's a long way of saying, we're going Rambo. We're gonna have big fun on the bayou. This is how we do it. There we go. And you thought I was just a flash in the pan. I should probably not have this hammer sitting up here, or I might get an egg on my head. Or I guess I should say goose egg. Ah, gosh darn it. This is actually going to work better if I bring the press plate up one level. Of course, everything I just set up is probably going to fall apart right on my feet. But you know how it is when you do everything backwards. I should just take it all apart, but I'm not. I'm gonna try to save time. It's not gonna work, and this is all gonna fall on my precious little toes because I'm an idiot. God, why am I doing it this way? God, man, you know, why can't I just be a human and whatever. You know, here I am just redoing everything anyways. Why can't I just, you know, I just always have to dare to be different, you know? Maybe I should start driving more Dodges. You know, isn't that the, you remember that slogan? Wasn't that Dodge? Dare to be different? But you know, Mr. Showmanship himself once said, to be a leader, you have to be exaggerated. And boy, was he ever exaggerated. Let's just see what happens if we just start putting some pressure on this. Let's make sure we get our face in there real nice and tight. So that way the shrapnel is sure to not miss us. Okay, what broke? Something good or something bad? Oh no. I'm afraid that what just took place here is another example of something that I could just cut out. I could just delete it and you would never know that I did something stupid. But I did actually do it. It's real, it's reality. This isn't Hollywood. And yeah, I'm afraid to... I knew better. There's a reason why I had this sitting right there where we were pressing, because I wanted to put it on the press so that what I think just happened wouldn't happen, but for some reason I thought, well, just see if, just press it and maybe we'll see it coming out. And then when I didn't see it start coming out, the stud, I thought, well, just a couple more cranks, you know, just one more, see what happens, you know, just one more pull of the old slot machine, one more spin at the old roulette wheel. Let's see the damage. If the right person sees it, it could help them out, help them avoid making the same mistake. Oh, actually, the stud moved. Woo! Thank goodness. Oh man. It's pretty safe to say that this is not solid. So my fear was that we punched the wheel stud right through the bottom, and I really thought that that's what we just did. But no, it actually moved. Well, Mother Hubbard's cupboard. Now that's called a breakthrough. Quite literally. Don't worry, if this wheel stud does not press out the rest of the way easily using this bolt here, I will stop. I will not let the bolt fly out and hit me in the face, okay? Unless you want that to happen. There we go. Oh man, is that ever satisfying or what? That moment of release. Well, there's the problem. The knurling is not even rusty. We're just jammed up fighting against ourselves. All right, 9 more to go. So cue the royalty-free track, probably light rock, something uplifting and motivating, something to give us the energy to get through this. And you know what, wheel studs? You do a good two-step, but I'm tired of dancing. Man, a press is lightning in the bottle. It can really help keep you from becoming a one-man demolition derby. In case you're not a gearhead or mechanic, I'll show you these splines in there. That is what our wheel studs were pressed into. These knurls, or knurling, slide right into those splines. And then of course these threads here are what your lug nuts thread onto. And because I can't throw away anything that's original, I will not be throwing these away. These will be mementos. I will clean them up and put them on display. We need to make a decision though on what we're gonna do next. Since we're in the mood and in the groove, do we do all the hard work of knocking this one out too? Or do we just keep rocking and rolling with the passenger side, which is the one that we just got the studs out of? It's like art, you know. There's no rules, there's no right or wrong answer. So let's just stick with the passenger side, because, I mean, we're already working on it, so let's just knock it out. And plus the shocks up on the car here, I'll get to show you those even quicker. So let's get all the old grease out of the hub, and we'll clean up the original ball bearings in the parts washer, and we'll repack them with new grease and bolt it onto the spindle. Alrighty, so for the uneducated, real quick, this is the inside of the hub. It goes towards the inside of the car. And this is your grease seal to keep your grease from coming out. And that's your inner bearing, which is a larger than the outer bearing. And that is the original style ball bearing, which they don't make them like that anymore. And then in the middle there, it's just full grease. Just grease, that's all. And then on the outside, you have your smaller bearing, which is your outer bearing, like so. And then covering that is your cap that holds all your grease in on the outside. We're gonna remove the grease seal and get that bearing out. It's raining here today, deep in the heart of Texas, which is kind of rare. And I ask you, in the words of Vern Gosden, is it raining at your house? Did you know that in the state of Texas, for every 25 miles you travel west, the annual rainfall lowers by an inch? Approximately, of course, you know, Mother Nature, she's not black and white. Oh, that made a nice grease splatter on my drill press. Not to get too granular, but you see that's the bearing there. And then this part right here, that's what's left of the seal that we got to get out. There we go. Would have been nice if it all came out in one piece, but beggars can't be choosers. All right, now that is a satisfying feeling. See, that's just old grease. That's so, yeah, that's yeah, we can't run that. Sometimes you gotta get a little dirt on your hands, son, if you're gonna grow up to be a big, big man. I'm keeping those old wheel studs, but I'm not keeping this. The grease, I can part with the grease. New departure, made in USA. That's what I'm talking about. That's the real deal right there. Everything's got all the big heavy grease off. So we are now ready to put it in the parts washer. I wanted to do it that way because I just changed the liquid in here and I do not want to ruin it by just putting a bunch of big chunks of grease in there. Alright, I'm going to let all of that soak while I go retrieve my child from the House of Education, and I'll see you in a little bit, ski. Now I know that some of you are watching this and thinking, why in the world is Freeman not upgrading to the all-superior roller bearing? Well, believe me, I know what you're saying and I hear you, but in this case we are rolling, pun intended, with what this car was originally equipped with. That's one of the fun things about building cars. You get to make choices. And not only am I partial to the ball bearing, I'm also A little bit of the purist in me is, the force is strong. This part has a patent number on it. I wonder if it's still active, or if a guy could, swing in on that one. Alrighty, we're about ready to pack these bearings, press the studs in, reassemble everything, and get it on the car. But first, let's get a fresh coat of paint on our hub and our cap. You know, we're going full tuxedo here. We're not wearing sweatpants today. Here's the before, and in just a minute, we'll see the after. That's a great spot to hang that, but I'd rather have the tail light in and be driving the car. In these scooters, it could be a little bit better, but that's what we're gonna go with. I've got the fastest blasting speeds I've ever achieved so far with my used Harbor Freight blast cabinet. I just put a brand new gun in here and upgraded the lights, and there's videos of all that stuff on the Freeman's Garage Extra channel. Links for that is in the video description if you want to see those videos. The only thing slowing me down with getting any faster blasting speeds is the actual air compressor itself. Now I could go out, I guess, and get a big boy air compressor, but I'm saving up to get a new floor for the 56 here. I'm thinking about getting the one-piece floor that includes the trunk, and yeah, not cheap. I guess that's good too. We're gonna go with semi-gloss, the same as we put on the front suspension parts. Link for those videos is in the description as well if you haven't seen them yet or you want to see them again. This is paint plus primer. That's like a 2-in-1, shampoo plus conditioner. There's no way it could be as good as each one separately, but you know how it is. I do want to do a special color on the brake drums though, and I'll tell you about that when we get to it. Alright, I've got clean hands, or well, as clean as they're gonna get. Yeah, off to the paint booth. Have you ever seen a paint booth like this before? It's called a all-draft paint booth, or you could call it a multi-directional draft paint booth, and you got to make sure you have the dollar store cheap plastic sprinkler that breaks in one use, because that's the key. You got to have that. All right. Hopefully that dries before the entire neighborhood decides that it's time to all start cutting their grass at once. What better place to pack your wheel bearings than on the trunk of the car they belong to? Someone out there right now is saying, that's not how you pack ball bearings. It don't matter how you do it. You just got to get that grease in there. I'm not one to tell anybody how to or how not to pack their wheel bearings. Freeman's Garage is like Planet Fitness. It's a judgment-free zone. Well, unless you want to put down our country. Then you're walking on the fighting side of me. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And don't be saying nothing about our neighbors to the north. There's some hard fighting boys up there too. They've been with us everywhere we've went. Well, probably not Chapultepec. No, I don't think they were at Chapultepec. You know I'm part Irish. They don't call me Fightin' Freeman for nothing. They've never called me that. All right, the grass clippings are still drying to the hub and wheel bearing cap, so let's get the press area ready for the new wheel studs. I'm hoping we didn't get too much paint in the threads that the wheel studs are going to go into. Or, ooh, I handled butter at lunch. Or could possibly cause an issue. It's either paint the hub before installing the wheel studs or paint the hub after installing the wheel studs. Either way, you gotta mask and wipe a little bit, and I don't know. I don't think it really matters that much in this case. I would like this paint to be a little bit more cured than it is, but I made a promise to a child in regard to a baseball game. Oh, I knew duct tape was a bad idea. I'm so stupid. Alright, another thing that I could just delete and you would never know it ever happened, but I did it and it's reality and this isn't Hollywood. This duct tape and sun don't mix, and now there's glue residue. And now look what I did, because the paint's still a little tacky because I'm short on time. Why do I do what I do when I do what I do? You know, just the other day I was standing right in front of an entire rack of blue painter's tape that was for sale. I was in a store where they sell things, and I thought, you know what, I'm out of blue painter's tape. I should probably grab a roll or 5. And then I looked at the price and thought, ugh, tape is so expensive. And now look at me. Alright, tape companies, you got me. Charge what you want. Nothing some gasoline can't fix. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If somebody tries telling you about all the amazing things you can do with gasoline, it is not a medicine show sales pitch. I guess unless they tell you it can cure the vapors. Okay, if we put these wheel studs in the wrong way, we're gonna have a bad day. And I didn't mean to rhyme that time. In case you're not in the know, I'll get you in the know real quick. The larger wheel bearing goes towards the inside of the car, which means we want our wheel studs to go that way, because our wheel goes on this side. This is the outside of the car, and we can get our lug nut on and secure our wheel to the hub. So if we accidentally, or we're not paying attention, and we press them in that way, then when we put the hub on the spindle of the car, we're not going to have any wheel studs. We'll line up the splines with our first wheel stud here, and we'll tap it in with this ball peen hammer just to get it set into the splines, and then we'll press her down. Alright, I'm going to check it. Everything appears to be going well and good. The knurling is in the splines and everything's going in straight. You know that song? It's too late, baby, it's too late. We really did try to make it, right? Well, you know, I don't know why I just started talking about that song. I guess I just started thinking about what it would be like if we messed this up and ruined the splines in this hub. I would say that that is in tight. Yes sir, yes ma'am. Let's take a look at the final product. We did a good job on this wheel stud. We nailed it. Everything looks great. Everything went in just the way it was supposed to. 4 more and the studs are all done on this hub. This stud here is being a little bit of a problem child. It did not want to set quite straight with the hammer. We're going to see if we can use the press to straighten it out. It's not in there tight, so if it doesn't, there, okay, it's already straightening out. I was going to say, if it doesn't start straightening out immediately and easily, we're not pressing it. We would abort and take a different approach. But all is well now. We got just a tad more for this third wheel stud to go in. But the studs that we got pressed in already, they were making contact with the press plate. So I put the arbor plates on top of these 4x4s. So we should be able to do it now. And now that that wood's in there, that was supposed to look cool. Anyways, I don't want to take a trip to Splinter in the Eyeville, so. I just took a couple minutes to reposition everything and figure out how to get our last two pressed in all the way. They got a little bit left to go, but the studs underneath kept hitting the wood. So I had to figure out a way to do it, and I think we got it now. Victory or defeat? Which one will we achieve? I think victory. All right. Looking good in the neighborhood. Once we install our wheel seal, then we can put our bearings in here and put the hub on the car. I don't think they're going to be in this box, but we will check. You know what? I'm beginning to think that I never received the wheel seals that I ordered, because I don't remember ever seeing them. I got other seals for other things that I ordered, some Chevy C10 pickup stuff, and pinion seal for this car for when we do the rear end. Yeah, I'm thinking I never got them. Well, they're not hidden underneath any of my creepers. So they weren't up there. They're not sitting around anywhere here. They're not in the car. Well, I guess that's all right, because I have a child to attend to. And don't fret, Fraulein. We're going to be working on the 56 Chevy a lot more here in Freeman's Garage, so get ready for that to ramp up. And how about this video on the screen right now? You could watch for the first time or rewatch. Big fun on the bio.